Okay, I wanted to include this lesson here for two reasons. One, it's really important that you look at your website as an asset, as an extremely valuable digital asset, and that's what this is sort of all about. And the second thing, as we progress through the training, is to understand that whenever you buy leads from another business, whether it's Home Advisor or Angie's List or anywhere else, what you're effectively doing is increasing the value of someone else's asset. So if you look at the value of your website, it's actually the cornerstone of the value of your business. So it might take a little bit of time to wrap your head around this, and that's why I'm just going to spend a couple of minutes on this. So you have to look at the value of your website independently of the value of your total business. And sometimes the value of the website alone is far more than the value of your actual business. Even when you consider, vehicles, inventory, your client base, which and repeat customers, which invariably will yield some value as what is called goodwill for your brand and your customer base. But the core value of your business, in fact, any business, anywhere, is the ability to bring in new business. So that's where the value of a website comes in. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean you're going to sell your business today or tomorrow, but it really serves to underline the fact that your website is essentially probably your most single valuable asset as a standalone element, which of course you can sell separately. Now, the value of a website, which is just like the value of your business, is strictly based on the monthly profit it generates. So I'm just going to give you a couple of quick ones here. If you look at this one here, Empire Flippers, you can look these guys up. There's lots of these. I just put a couple up here for you to be able to see. These guys here have a monthly revenue of $100,000. Now you can just, and this is lead generation, right? Because that's specifically what this is. You're buying leads because any website you have, your own website, is a lead generation website. The only purpose of a business website is to, well, sell, and in your case, to get leads. So de facto, a small business website and a lead gen website is the same thing. Makes your phone ring and form submissions and so on. So these guys have a monthly revenue of 100,000 approximately. Their monthly profit is 44,000. But the value of this site is actually over $2 million with a monthly multiple of 46. So the general rule is when you're looking at this kind of stuff in terms of valuing your site, it's that how much ever business you get from your own website, the profit from that business, you can multiply it anywhere from 40 to 60 because the lead generation websites are far more valuable than any kind of e-commerce websites and so on. So if you're making $44,000 profit off your website, that website alone is worth over $2 million. Now you're thinking, well, right, I'm in this industry, who's going to buy my site, and so on. But the fact is that investors buy websites as businesses, and that's why these services are available because people buy websites as a portfolio, for instance, instead of buying a bricks and mortar business like a shop or a gas station or donut shop or whatever, because some people just want to travel and what they do is they buy a bunch of websites and that's their business. And lead generation websites are very valued, as I just mentioned, anywhere from 40 to 60. Now, if somebody buys a lead generation website, they just simply sell the calls to folks like you and you end up buying the calls. So now, let me just show you a couple of the other ones here. You can check these out yourself. This one is called Flippa, and it's just, I guess, just loading here. Let's see if these guys load here. This one is called exchangemarketplace.com, flippa.com. You can have a look. The market, there's a lot of these guys. They're all over the place. Um, Pretty well everywhere. Motion Invest, so you can sort of check all of these guys out yourself. But I wanted to really drive the point home that whenever you're buying leads from someone else, then what you're doing two things. You're essentially devaluing the value of your own digital asset and increasing the value of somebody else's digital asset. So if you focus on eliminating your your dependency on third-party lead sellers, then you're really starting to drive up the value of your site. And you can look at these numbers here. Just think about how much of your profit comes from your own website and how much of your profit comes from having to buy leads. So when you're buying leads, not only are you driving up your expenses dramatically, and I can absolutely tell you, particularly if you follow through with this masterclass, that the cost of those leads, um, I'm just going to put it in simple terms, you are probably spending 10x, maybe 20x more buying leads than developing your own ability to generate all of your leads in-house and eliminate that dependency, because at the same time then you're concurrently not only driving your business through the roof, but you're creating the most valuable asset you have. So that's why in this particular case here, there's a package here. This is a 6-package lead generation business. So what these guys have done is quite typical is, and I'm going to cover this in a course in detail as well, is that they will have multiple websites. So it doesn't matter what industry you are in, the buyer will end up just selling the calls, because essentially what you're doing is not just eliminating your dependency, but you're driving up the value of your business. So I wanted to start with this video because you've got to look at your website or websites from a very, very different perspective than you likely have up to now. Okay, so let's move on and let's dig in a bit deeper and start, putting all the pieces together so that you can break free from dependency and build the value of your business just astronomically. All right, see you in the next one.